Thanos, the Mad Titan, and why he is so mad. Now, Thanos is a character that has so many layers. It's actually a very complex character on many levels. And if you saw just the MCU, the movie version of Thanos, who just snapped half the universe out of existence, that's not really the truest depiction of Thanos. There's a lot more to how this character came to be. There's also the cosmic Thanos, who is most prevalent in the comic books and some of the animation, but he is this philosopher, this nihilist, and he is this eternal suitor of death. I think that's one of the most powerful frames of who Thanos really is, if we want to understand like what's going on with him, upstairs. But there's also a component that we need to understand that I've seen revealed more in a few novels, and this is the childhood Thanos. There's a few Marvel novels out there, and they kind of take you back to Thanos' childhood. And we're talking about this boy who was born on Titan, and you see Titan when it's still like before this decline, and he is marked as being this abomination because of how he looks. He's an alien, but even among the people in his world, he looks like death. That's what he symbolizes. And this was root in Thanos. And then, of course, he would have this premonition about how to save Titan because he saw that the end was coming up. So I want to jump into each one of these Thanos for a bit just to kind of give a framework of who Thanos really is. So there is this Thanos early on who is the outsider on Titan. And this is the first foundational forming of Thanos. This would shape so much of who he is because of what he experiences. Now, he isn't just different on Titan. He was reviled. He was born with the deviant syndrome, and his purple skin branded him as a monster. Like, literally among them, that's what, when they saw him, they would gasp. And imagine that. Your first identity is rooted in your ugliness. Like, even his own mother rejected him. So there's a lot that comes along with that part. Being so ugly that your mother rejected him, and like, I'm not gonna lie, she kind of went crazy. Like, later in the book it talks about what happens to her, and she's basically in an insane asylum, and I'm gonna assume it was because of this. So we're not just talking about playground bullying. This is a whole system of ostracization on the highest level, a complete societal level of ostracization. Even his father acknowledged it, and his father kind of built this world where he could be just to himself. I gave him all this research facilities and all that stuff. He did try to go to school for a minute, like early on, and that just went completely sideways immediately. So now you see that he's in this isolation. I mean, this isn't a trauma to last anybody. Just being born so ugly that it's an issue even to your mother immediately. There's that part, okay? Then there's the, just the rank like rejection, the societal alienation. So during this, he starts really getting comfortable being by himself, and he develops this obsession with death. Now, this would be massively formative in, what he would become later. And this is as a child, he turns inward, he starts dissecting animals, not even out of cruelty, but out of a need to understand life and death and his place in it. So what he finds is silence, this coldness, and this was an embrace that only death could give. And this morbid curiosity became quite literal. In the comics, he falls in love with this mistress Death, who is a personification of death. And to Thanos, love and annihilation now become inseparable. He's rejected by the living that made him loyal, but he gives this grace to this void. It accepts him. So when you're told you're this abomination your whole life, you have either one of two choices. You can either kind of be consumed by the shame, or you can weaponize what you are. And that's what Thanos did. So this bullying, like, he was bullying everybody. I mean, they were all bullying him or shunning him, but they were all afraid of him because he's still a massive dude. Like, that's not normal for Titans either. So he didn't just become this Mad Titan. He built an empire out of this Mad Titan persona. One of the most precise and well-run organizations that you'll ever see. How Thanos commanded his troops, how massive the troops were, what they would do. And he built this philosophy on balance. Like, this became his obsession with order, or this universal genocide. It all traces back to the single point where he didn't belong. So why the snap? Why the universe? Which is the looming question about Thanos. Is why all of this? Well, because Thanos has this obsessive compulsion in his logic. He's a genius, and his mind works in a very specific way. He is literally super intelligent, even as a child early on. They're not joking about that part. As massive and strong as he is, Thanos is that smart as well. Like that's something else that you get when you get exposed to his childhood. So despite all this, so you're hyper intelligent, so you're able to read people. You're able to kind of pick things together. And he does develop one friend who I think is kind of, like, it's kind of his brother. I think they make it Eros in the comic books, but he has one friend, and this friend kind of, he's initially paid to be his friend because he acts like that. But in that, they become real friends. And he starts trying to show him how the other half lives, but he can't. So he absorbs being this god, and he takes it on. He gets exiled. And that just opens him up to just, give in to all the urges, everything that was there. But it starts with this deep level of rejection based on this isolation, and then it progresses. So this is an understanding we need to have of Thanos and how we create villains like Thanos, because this is homegrown, absolutely made there by the people who feared him the most. So anyway, give me your thoughts about this breakdown on Thanos. And as always, if you've got some heroes you want me to talk about or villains, drop it in the comment section to let me know.